Hi everyone, it's Natalie. Welcome to a different kind of edition of Brainstorm. I am going to probably start a YouTube page. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I thought that I would record my next podcast with video and see how that feels. And I also wanted to share with you the cutest little earrings that I got. I was part of a Christmas exchange, present exchange with complete strangers. It was very, no, I shouldn't say complicated, but you needed to make sure that you didn't drop the ball and you made sure that you started this chain, kind of like it was like a chain reaction gift exchange. And I got these from someone in Vancouver, a lady that I don't even know, and I think she must have made them. And they're little gold jingle bells on the bottom, and I just adore them. I think they're the cutest things ever. Now, are these lights distracting, is my question. They're maybe a little bit distracting to me, so they might be distracting to you. I'm not sure. So the topic today for Brainstorm is mindfulness and what I learned last night at the Buddha Center in my city. So I go to an amazing place called Jampa Ling, and I learn lots about love and compassion and how to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And the beautiful teacher, she's just lovely, always so graciously describes how in different analogies or different, I don't know if it's an analogy, metaphors maybe, how we can be more mindful. And even further, this topic last night was about how to be a better listener. And Buddha uses sort of a story to describe how humans have difficulty being good listeners, and he refers to 3 different kinds of pots. And these pots represent 3 different personality traits, and some of us may have more than one, some of us may have none, which is wonderful. I could definitely relate to one of them, and I'll share with you which one that is. So Buddha says that sometimes we are either an upside down pot, and I'll explain what that means, what is it? I have notes. Hang on, what was it? Oh, a bad smelling pot. Ooh. Or a pot that's leaky and has holes in it. So the first pot, being an upside down pot, refers to basically if you're listening to a conversation or you're with someone, you're already closed off. You're already somewhere else. You're not present. You're not really in the conversation. The words that come at you just kind of bounce off the pot and never really are inside of it where you can accept it and look at it and appreciate it and listen and care for the person by listening in whatever conversation you're having. So I thought that was really profound. And I think that a lot of us do that. We're always thinking of things like, well, what are we doing next after this conversation? Where do we need to be? What bills need to be paid? What dinner needs to be made? It's so rare that we're actually present and the bowl is upright and we're willing to fill it with everything the person says and really accept and take in their words. Another part of that bowl is that a lot of times we're not allowing it to get full because we're really planning what we want to say. We're not listening exactly. The words are coming at us, but maybe we want to, depending on the situation, impress the person who's talking to us, or one-up them, again, depending on who it is that you're speaking with. And that's so true, I find. I can relate to that in the sense that it's not the main pot that I relate to, but I can relate to it in a sense that When I have my social anxiety, if I'm having a conversation with someone and I start to dissociate, I do have to take effort or make an effort in thinking of what I'm going to say. And that is because of the social anxiety. So it's uncomfortable to me because I want to participate in the conversation fluidly and just be myself and not have to plan what my next thing will be. But I have to sometimes so I don't feel awkward. So that's kind of how I relate to that pot. So the second pot is a bad smelling pot. And what that refers to is that the person who is on the listening end already has a preconceived notion about the person who is doing the talking. You already have a feeling that maybe that person, maybe it's a family member, and you already have a rift with them, and you don't get along normally. So you're going into a conversation not with the pot clean and open and willing to accept whatever is being given. You've already established, oh, this person's selfish, or oh, this person is arrogant, or the list goes on and on. And when the words come into the pot, it contaminates it. It contaminates the view that you could potentially have of the words being given if you didn't have it already a bad smelling pot. So that needs to be it needs to be cleaned out. It needs to be, you start on fresh ground with a conversation with someone. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Let them share from their heart whatever it is that they want to say. But don't go into the conversation thinking you already know what they're going to say, or it's not worth your time, or whatever it is. Just go into it with an open mind. And the third pot is a leaky pot. And I can definitely relate to this one. And it refers to forgetfulness and a lack of concentration. So let me just look at my note here. It says, some things for an example might be not even that we're listening to someone speaking to us, but we're listening to maybe something that we've read. So say we read an inspirational quote and it really resonates with us in the morning. A leaky pot forgets that feeling and forgets that connection really quickly. It doesn't absorb it and keep it close to the person's self and enjoy that feeling and that emotion that you had throughout the day. So I am definitely the leaky pot. And I hate that my memory is so bad. For whatever reason, I'm not going to even give it a justification reason. It is what it is. And I try really hard, but I am a note maker. I need to make notes. I need to make lists. I need to write things down right away, or they will be out of my mind like almost instantly. So that's just something that I've come to learn about myself, especially over the last couple years. So those are the examples. And how do we not be a leaky pot? Well, what my teacher at the Buddhist Center, Suma, said was that you have to practice not being a leaky pot. So she gave us kind of like a mantra to say to ourselves throughout the week until our next class. And she said, the more you say it to yourself, the more it will kind of plug those holes and keep it in your mind and be something that comes up throughout your day, in your daily life. So the mantra was, the source of all happiness is inner peace. The source of all happiness is inner peace. And that's a whole other topic that we can share about. That it's not about external things that make us happy. People can't make us happy. What makes us happy is us. And it's not easy. Learning that the way we view things can improve how we feel is so profound, and not the way our society, especially, you know, Western culture, is used to. We're used to, you know, getting the car and the boyfriend or the girlfriend and looking a certain way. And I'm for sure guilty of that. I feel better when I have a shower and I look a certain way and I have my nice little new dangly earrings. So I won't get into that today, but that's a whole other topic that we can really go into depth about. So how do you relate to these 3 pots? If you want to become a better listener, which pot would you want to improve or change? And how do you think that you could do that? And when you have a conversation with someone the next time, maybe think of those pots and reflect a little bit as much as you can. I guess if you're reflecting too much while you're actually talking to someone, then you're being the upside down pot. But, you know, be present and be mindful of whether or not you're actually listening to what's being said, whether you have a preconceived notion, and whether it's something that is going to be fleeting and just forgotten about as soon as it's done. So thank you for listening. You can find me at ParamedicNat1 on Instagram and Twitter, and my website is paramedicnatsmentalhealthjourney.com. Thank you so much to Homewood Health, who is sponsoring Brainstorm. They are an amazing facility that I've been a patient at twice now for PTSD and addiction. They deal with lots of different mental illnesses and mental injuries. They have clinics across Canada now, and you can find them at homewoodhealth.com. Take care, stay warm if you're not somewhere that's warm. Where I am right now is freezing cold, and we'll chat with you soon. Okay, bye-bye.